All right, I got this cool little 81 KZ440 sitting here, and I was having trouble with the carbs. The float was sticking on it, or so it appeared, and it was running and everything, but the gas was just flowing out the bottom of it. So I pulled the carburetors off. I have them right here. Went through cleaning them. The bowls are pretty clean now. I got a little bit of residual in there I got to wipe out. I'll wipe all that out before I put them back together. Everything was working before. It was just a little dirty, and it wasn't gummed up or anything. It was just a little dirty. Coming down on the slides section. The slides were pretty clean. There's no marks on them, so those are in good shape. I had fuel flowing through all of my jets, and I do believe that I found at this point, I haven't checked, I have to put it all back together to check it. So I think what was going on, it was this carburetor that was leaking all the fuel out. So when I pulled the float off of it, this little pin sits down in here, and your float lifts that up and drops it down, in case you're not familiar with that. And when you have no fuel in your carburetor, the float sinks to the bottom and allows fuel to flow in, and then it slowly closes this, and when the bowl is full, it's supposed to seat this up against that right there, which is a direct link to this line, which is your incoming fuel. And when it seats up against that, then it shuts fuel off to the carburetor. This side, I pulled everything apart and shot some cleaner down in there. Everything looked pretty good. When I pulled this side out and got it set off to the side, there was a big clump of nasty stuff sitting here that I'm pretty sure came from inside here, and it was not allowing this seat valve to seat properly. And even though the float was all the way to the top, this was not closing all the way, and it was still allowing fuel to come through here. So I think that that's what was going on. And in order for me to check it, I got to put it all back together. So I'm going to do that. And the nice thing is I figured out how to check this off the bike. There's a setting on the petcock that says prime, which puts fuel right into the carburetors. And I can hook all of that up without it having to go back on the bike, because that's the most difficult part of all of this, I think, is getting them on and off the bike. I hate doing it. It's my least favorite thing to do. So, like I said, these are pretty clean now. I used about 2 cans of carb and choke on it. I got the slides up in here. They weren't gummed up or anything in any way. They're just a little dirty, and you know, they just had that residual on them, just gunk from riding and sitting and riding and sitting. So I'm going to get everything back together, and then I will do a check and see if it is sticking. If it's not sticking or allowing fuel to come through there, it's all good. It's all going back on the bike, and guess what? The price of the bike just went up.